Hey everyone, this is Julia, the Nomadic Crafter, and I'm here with a very important video for you today, so I hope you'll stay with me and watch. What I'd like to talk about today is how my life, my van life, and my VanLife channel have changed so much in the last year to a couple of years, and where my channel will be going in the future. So please stick around. We are also getting ready to leave San Diego, and I'm really excited and really a bit afraid. And it's quite fitting where we ended up parking last night and where we are right now. It's really windy. Just doing some crochet. I got my baby, Bambi, laying there. Hi, Bambi. And today's smoothie is almost gone. Apple, peanut butter, banana. So yeah, it's totally fitting that we're parked here because 2 years ago, exactly in the middle of August 2018, and this is the first place that we came, here at Mission Bay in San Diego, which is amazing. So anyway, we're back here and it's totally fitting to be here after 2 years, and this is where I started. And boy, how things have changed and were so different back then. Welcome to my channel, and this is a unique video because it's sort of highlighting a transitional period for this channel. So heads up, things are about to change, people, as I have changed. I feel like I've been through a really major transformation, especially in this last year. Really, my life and my van life and my VanLife channel in the past has been epitomized by a certain struggle. In fact, you could call it a struggle channel. A certain neediness, a certain I haven't found my way yet, also a certain ability to be extremely vulnerable with my own personal challenges along this journey. And really, in a large way, I've really moved out of that space. And you might have been able to tell, if you've been with this channel for a long time, how things have changed in my own codependent recovery, in my own spiritual journey. And along that path, I have been able to find some growth. And part of the way that's reflected is I've gained a sense of healthy boundaries, some sense of healthy boundaries that has made my channel different and has made my focus different. And you can probably feel that it feels different. I'm not really opening up in that super vulnerable space that I have in the past. And the reason is because it's really twofold. Firstly, when I started my VanLife channel, I just was in such a really different place. I was sort of at the beginning of my codependent recovery journey. And I had just, living in a van, moving into a van and living in a van itself was the beginning of another journey for me in my life. But what the channel allowed me to do in the beginning, and I didn't plan the channel at all, I just started talking. And really, that's what I needed to do. I really just needed to talk and share. And I just felt so unheard in my life and so misunderstood and so left behind and so unknown. And I feel like the first 2 or 3 years of my VanLife channel was just me spewing out and just talking like you would, in a sense, do a journal, just to sort of get it all out. And I feel like that's why there was such a vulnerability available to you guys in those early videos. Even though they were done with like a 2MP camera, it was horrible quality wise, and there was really a lack of focus. But I just really needed to do that. And I think what's changed is I don't feel like I really need to talk in the same way that I did before. And I want to say it's been such a huge help to me to be able to do that, to use my channel as sort of a journal all this time. And I want to thank everybody out there for watching my channel and how much of a difference it's made to me to know that you're all out there listening, which is amazing. And all of the feedback that I've got in the form of comments and just a lot of consideration and heartfelt desire for me to succeed and just be happy. And then on top of that, there have been times where I was really, really down and out. A little over a year ago was probably the worst, and you guys really came through for me, providing some donations that saved my life. So in a number of ways in the last year or so of my life, I've really been super blessed, and in many different ways, and that's really helped pull me out of really a financial situation that wasn't good. And I'm not saying everything's perfect now, either with me or with my financial situation. It's not perfect, but you guys really helped me along the way. So I really just want to give a thank you to those of you that have donated to my channel in the past. You saved me. I really appreciate that. And I want you to know how much it means to me, more than just the money that you gave, but the fact that you cared so much to do that. I really appreciate that. So that's the first reason why my channel's been changing and will continue to change into the future, is that I just really don't have that need anymore to share in that way. Now, the second reason that's been changing is because I have recognized through my new slightly healthy boundaries, no, I'll say healthier boundaries, that there was a certain vulnerability that I was sharing that was making me feel a little bit unsafe. The mix of sharing my deepest insecurities and weaknesses and vulnerabilities at the same time that I'm sharing my van life journey and exactly where I'm located and the issues that I'm dealing with, those two together creates a certain vulnerability that I no longer feel is safe enough for me to really do that. So that's the other reason why I've been pulling back on my channel, is because I just realized I have a greater sense of healthy boundaries, where I realize there's sort of a safety issue there as well. So it's sort of two-pronged like that. And you might have been able to, another thing that's happening here is, and you might have been able to tell, that something changed significantly around the beginning of this year. And I'm not talking about everything going on, but for me personally, but right around the beginning of the year, I did a video that was a little bit political, and at that time it caused this complete disruption in my channel, where I suddenly had lost a lot of subscribers and my numbers plummeted, and all donations stopped at that time, and they have never come back. I haven't gotten a donation on this channel since last December. So really there was like some pushback on the video that I did, and I ended up doing a response to that pushback, but then I ended up not listing that and pulling the other video back because it just felt like so much drama. And I just went back to my crafting videos. Well, what ended up happening was, through that process, I ended up closing my throat chakra. I ended up closing my ability to speak openly. I ended up pulling back in a way where I was now afraid to speak, because I didn't want to offend anybody, and I also didn't want people to not like me. And that's a highly codependent feature of a personality like mine, which is something I have to be really careful about, that directing my actions. And so there was a certain fear or a lack of speaking out that occurred for a little while, and it caused my channel to not have the passionate energy that it had previous to that. And then I felt really frustrated that I had done that, and ever since then have been wanting to speak out more. and in fact speak out more about the things that I really want to talk about. So I'll get to that in a minute, and that's point 2 of this video. But in terms of how my channel has changed and my van life and my life in general, so much has changed that I can't possibly go on the way that I have with this channel. Simply as a van life channel, and as I've talked about before, I, as a simple nomad, really cannot compete with the high level that van life has reached in terms of channels like Eamon and Beck and Max and Lee, or now Max and Lee, and those, who are really van life focused. I've just never really been able to compete in that. And now that I have better tools, a better camera, a mobile hotspot, and some level of focus and understanding, I'm sure that my channel would grow at this point. But I myself have gotten to the point where I'm kind of a little bit over talking about my day-to-day van life in terms of cooking in the van, or like just sort of the day-to-day timeline of living in a van, because what's happened is I haven't been able to keep up with the timeline, and then I have like videos that are coming out 2 weeks after whatever happened, and there's this disjointedness between what you're seeing and what I'm actually going through. And I think my energy isn't in the current video you're watching, because now I'm 2 weeks ahead of you and I just can't keep up. And I feel this stress of, if I don't let you know what's happening, I can't let you know what's happening next, because you didn't know what happened before, and it's all tied in. And this sort of minutia of the daily goings on with Julia, what's going on in Julia's personal life, that is kind of something that I'm sort of over now, and don't want the burden of keeping up with my specific van life, keeping it on a timeline and letting you know every step of the way. I really can't maintain that anymore, and I don't feel the passion to do that. So I'm going to sort of step away from that at this point. So yeah, and I just, overall, and in closing on this point, I really feel like I've changed a lot, and that I'm right now going through a huge, huge change in my life. So now I'd like to talk a little bit about where my channel is going. And the new focus is simply that I live an alternative lifestyle, and that lifestyle happens to be in a van. And what I'd really like to focus on is more of the reasons behind why I live in a van and why I live the way I do. I feel like, and I know that my life is really quite unusual in a lot of different ways. And it's not just living in a van. The living in a van is more of a reflection of what's going on in the inside, and what my beliefs are, and what my worldview is. And so that's really why I live in a van, and there's a lot to that. And I think what I'm really feeling passionate about now, and what I really think the times are calling for now, is that I begin to talk about things that matter. Because I have a different lifestyle and a different perspective, I'm hoping that I can share some of my ideas with you that'll be really beneficial to you. And on top of that, I really, through my own van life and through my own alternative life, I really would like to encourage you out there to consider also having an alternative life. I mean, this sort of gets back to the beginning of why van life channels started in the first place. It was kind of in the first life. It was kind of about, wow, someone's doing this different, weird lifestyle. Why are they doing it? What is it about? The first channel, one of the first channels I started watching was Nomadic Fanatic. And the reason I liked that was because his first video was showing him getting up in the morning and going to work, coming home, feeding his cat, getting a beer, sitting in front of the TV, watching television, and then going to sleep, getting up in the morning again, and doing it all over. So yeah, watching Nomadic Fanatic, that's kind of what, these channels were first about. I used to watch Living in a Van, and what was the other one? Oh, Just Incredible. And then there was another one, but that's kind of what van life was like in the first place. It was like, wow, here's this strange and weird lifestyle, and why are people doing this? But now most van life channels aren't about any sort of philosophical stuff about why people are living in a van. There's not a lot of emotion there. It's sort of on the day-to-day adventure of living in a van, and I just think there's so much more to it than that, and that's what I'd like to really get back to. I think this is a really pertinent time to explore alternative ways of looking at things and alternative lifestyles. Obviously, van life has really helped me to grow a lot. And I want to address some of that. I want to address what living in an alternative lifestyle like this can really do for you emotionally, psychologically, financially, physically, mentally. That's the kind of stuff I want to talk about more. And I'm guessing there are a lot more people out there that are going to vibe with that than I previously supposed, because I believe a lot of people are waking up and a lot of people are looking for something different. People are looking for a new way that actually works for them. People are realizing they can't be so dependent on either jobs, houses, or government or corporations, and that we really need to take our self-determinism and our destiny into our own hands. And that's sort of what I'm doing here, so I'm really going to be talking about that a lot. As I say, for those of you who won't vibe with that, I totally understand. And for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm sure, I'm hoping that you'll really enjoy what's coming next. I think it's going to be really good. So look for changes coming in my channel soon, including a name change and a focus change. Now, Bambi and I are getting ready to leave San Diego, and my van is so packed with stuff right now, it's absolutely ridiculous. We have entirely closed down our sewing shop. My sewing machine and iron and everything, all the fabric is now in the van. All the fabric's in the front and under the bed. And at the back of my van here, it is absolutely crazy. We are so stocked up that I can't even. So I have clothing here that I need to photograph to sell. And then I've got extra everything. I had to pull out a new basket just for all the extra food that I have. And then I've got extra stuff to sell that's made and photographed that won't even fit in the container for selling stuff. And then I've got this new container for all of my yarns. And I had to reorganize this entire area. And now it is a cluster crazy van. So once I get it a little bit more in order, I'm going to do another van tour, because just sort of to start the channel off fresh again with a new van tour, because I have a new camera and I've never done a van tour with a clear camera. So now I've tried to do this video multiple times, so if it's a little bit all over the place, I apologize, but I really feel like I needed to get this out before we head out on the road. And it was the most opportune time, being right here at the exact location that I started my San Diego van life journey almost exactly 2 years ago. I hope that I've shared with you sincerely and authentically about what I intend to do with my channel. And that's another thing that's so important to me. And I feel like, as I said, I had pulled back and my throat chakra sort of closed up, where I've just been feeling like I can't speak authentically, like I can't speak from the heart to you all. And I know that's something that you guys really appreciated from me. So I'm hoping to bring that back as I reopen up myself to expressing authentically to you. So with all of that said, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you have any thoughts on this, how my channel has changed over time, just leave that in the comments below and give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye. Hi, monkey.